that run there maybe at the end of the second quarter. I think you guys got it to 5, and then they got it to 20 there. Is there anything that stuck out about that stretch that you go back to right now?
I would say the bigger part, I mean, again, I don't, you're kind of guessing before you watch the film, but it's just, for us, again, I know it sounds redundant. The ball's got to hit the paint, and when we're not executing well enough or not playing with enough force or purpose, we just take we don't take bad shots, but we take okay shots, and we can't do that. We got to get really good shots. And when we did, you know what, we were efficient. So that's something, whether a newness of the group or whatever. But we were better defensively in the second half too. They had us all spread out. That was our in the first half there tonight. We missed a lot of helps and stuff, which we've been good at,
Kind of going off that a little bit, Coach. There was a lot of swing kind of passes that Bucks were doing. You guys have to lead and recover a lot. Can you just talk about that first half defense that you guys were doing?
Well, most of it, to be honest, was the individual defense. It wasn't so much their ball movement. I mean, like Giannis to me is going to drive by you, Dame's going to drive by you, but we gave up drives where we just had wrong stances, wrong angles, and no help to other guys who were good players, but not guys that should be blowing by us like they were. And that was, again, that's without watching the film, but that's what I wrote in my notes. That's what I told them at halftime. And, that to me, we did better in the second half. I mean, to me, the swing in this level, it's not really that big. Well, let's put it this way. The swing, actually at any level, depends on who the swing is swung to, okay? So, when that's to Lillard or, Giannis, it's a problem. When it's to a normal guy, it's very doable.
This is another slow start for you guys. What are you seeing from them?
That's where that's where we're not. But we're not coming out and playing with the right, to me, mentality offensively. Tonight, we made a lot of mistakes defensively with that first group, which they have not been doing. We got off to a bad start on defense also. But it's, again, if we're not inside out, we took a ton of. They're not bad shots. They're okay shots, but we're not that team. You know what I mean? We've got that ball's got to hit the paint. We need to be shooting great shots. And if we do, I think we'll be good enough to compete with anybody. If we're going to settle and not put continual pressure on the defense, which we did in stretches, we did a good job. But we've got to be able to sustain that through everybody that plays for 48 minutes.
I know earlier you talked about this evening, you said you're trying to play Brandon Miller maybe a little less now that you have a different bench. You played 40 minutes, I think Toronto might have been the only time.
Yeah.
I know it's hard, how high of a priority is that for you, and where can you steal some rest for him in game?
Yeah, I mean, tonight, because to be honest with you, I really thought we had a chance to see. He played more minutes than he was scheduled to play. 38 is a lot back-to-back. But, I mean, he's our best offensive chance, right? So he played a really good first half. They were more aggressive with their coverages with him in the second half. And listen, I mean, I think you guys know this, and I actually think it's a big deal. Playing to win's important. We're going to play to win. I mean, we may play some guys to see what they can do and everything, but when you start doing that, let me just tell you, it reeks of losing, and we're not going to do that. And I also think what people don't understand a lot is when they say, why don't they just play those guys? It kills your season. We got 23 games left. That stuff kills your season. It doesn't. I'm just saying as somebody who's lived it. And when you do that, you are absolutely crushing everything you build in the locker room about accountability, about play. You can't play guys who don't deserve to play minutes more than they deserve and then look at pro players and say, go play hard, do your job, do the stuff that's difficult. It kills everything. And when people don't understand, a team sport's different than an individual sport. It is. And they have to learn what real details are, what real execution is. And again, you start playing around with guys like that, you can mess the whole thing up. And you don't do this. I will tell you this. I've seen this year after year after year. You don't take 20 games at the end of the year and just play for fun, then come back next October 25th and say, no, this we want to win. You either build the right mentality or you don't. And that's the way it works.
Kind of going off that, Coach, All-Star break is in half the season. It's like,
Yeah.
you're racing to the finish line. What is something you're looking to see from this team to kind of?
Well, we have to get an identity, and this is the part that's not fair for them, and this is where I told them after the game, I've got to help them more because, we're going to be able to do it defensively, and the offensive part is always harder. And, 5 of our top 9 guys right now are brand new. And usually you get a month or 3.5 weeks of preseason. You get all of September, all that. That's where we're behind, and it's starting to show. And I don't know how you speed up the process, but I've got to find a way to do it. That's my responsibility.
Steve, with this group, you talked about the lack of ball hitting the paint. Is there anything else offensively that this new group has maybe troubled with, or maybe even on the other end, maybe solved?
Well, Golden State switched a lot more, and we struggled with it. So obviously that's this league, right? So everybody, now they switched more these 2 games in Milwaukee than they have all year. So yeah, we don't have breakdown guys. We don't have guys. We don't have Melo's out there. They can't do that. That's just it, right? We have really good players. Doesn't mean they're not good players, but we don't have anybody that you're going to look and say, well, we can't switch under him. So that's quite a bit of part of it, but there's things that you can do. It just takes more coordination, more cohesiveness, more chemistry, guys playing together. But that's going to be, every team's going to have things that they do. Since that game though, teams are doing that, and they'll do it tomorrow night too. So we have to figure that out.